Welcome to Core Invest Sector Analysis. And today's series, we are going to talk about technology.
In this sector analysis, we have done a couple of videos. In the series, we have started with the healthcare, we talked about the energy and the utilities, and today we'll talk about technology.
So, in the sector itself, there are 11 different sectors, or now up to 13 different sectors. XLK is the one of the sectors, right, or spider of the S&P 500. So let's go into XLK to see what exactly it's about.
My name is Waimin from Core Invest Institute.
And this is Jeremy, likewise.
So for this technology sector, we'll be looking at these 7 sectors and we'll be going through one by one.
So before we continue, a short disclaimer. All views and opinions are expressed on the speaker's personal capacity. All the contents are not recommendations, but for education and entertainment purposes. Please do your own due diligence, as we know that past performance does not guarantee future outcome. So please do not circulate all these contents and duplicate it without the consent of the speakers. So when we look at this S&P 500 itself, do take note that the tech stocks are dominating the whole S&P 500. Why is it so? Right? Currently, it holds the largest sector in S&P 500, about 27.47% of S&P 500. So whatever that is driving is always the tech that is in mind at the first place. And we are looking at, in terms of the whole chart itself, you can see that we are looking at technological as one of the biggest and driving the US economy itself.
As you can see, among all the 13 sectors, XLK is the largest sector among all. And it has been bullish through the advancing phase over here. It has been bullish and doing very well.
So if you are comparing the XLK, which is the technology sector, to the S&P 500, you can see that it actually performs so much better than the S&P 500. So that's why XLK is very lucrative in terms of investing into tech companies.
And being the largest sector, it will actually help to drive the S&P higher and higher. So over here, you can see that we are looking at the Shiller's PE, which is the price over earning. Technology stands at 45.3. What does 45.3 means? It means very high and overbought. On the right side, you can see technology has the highest growth over there as well among all the other green bars over there. And because of that, you can also compare with S&P, which is at 34.4. This slide shows that technology is at a very dangerous situation, but it is still very bullish.
So comparing it with the CAP ratios over here, CAP ratios over here, you can see that this is according to the country itself. Just now was according to the S&P 500. Now we compare it against the countries, and you can see that even the XLK, which is at 45 over there, comparing with the economy itself, is just 29.35. So you can see that basically, if you compare against many other countries, it's actually really overbought over there, very pricey, and we have to be very careful about investing into those tech companies.
Yeah, with the S&P at about 34, it is already showing high compared to the US economy. But of course, we know that it is mainly driven by the XLK, the technology sector as well over there.
So in the XLK itself, or the technological sectors itself, it's actually classified into 3 different industries itself, right? One is the technological hardware and equipment, right, which consists of communication equipment, technology hardware, storage, and so on and so forth, electronic equipment, instruments, and so on and so forth. So this is under the technological hardware equipment. So if you are interested to actually invest in these sectors over here, right, which is part of technology, right, you can always go and Google about it. Like for example, Apple, HP, Dell, Motorola, so on and so forth, right? And it also, the second part of the component of XLK is software and services, right, which take into consideration the internet software and services, IT services and software itself. And examples of such companies like Google, eBay, Facebook, Accenture, PayPal, so on and so forth, right? And lastly, part of it, of the technological sector, is the semiconductors and equipment over here, right? And that is where you can look at companies like Intel, microchip technology, and so on and so forth. So if you are interested to look at different companies to invest in, right, these are all part of the XLK.
Let us now look at the outlook of 2021 next year, which is from the Fitch Ratings. What it basically says is that the hardware like the PC, the demand in 2021 could be dampening, so slowing down, but the software is expected to rise, continue to grow in 2021, with the public cloud continue to be very robust growth into 2021. So looking overall, the outlook in 2021 seems to be very good.
So you can see that this is the price chart for the XLK for 10 years itself. Well, pretty interesting, right? Since many years ago, since 2010 and up to now, right, it's been very bullish. Even after the COVID-19, which happens in 1 month down and 6 months back up, it's all the way going up, right? This is the 3 years chart, right? So to let you see in more detail of how the price is moving. Very interesting, going up.
All-time high.
All-time high.
Yes. Now we look into the whole S&P 500. Do realize that the top 50 companies of the S&P 500, it contributes to the total 55% of the overall total market capitalization in the US. And you can see that those in the red box over there, there are 13 companies from the technology sector in the top 50 alone.
You can also look at the S&P 500, right? There are 71 companies in the S&P 500 talking about different technologies in there.
The huge contribution from the XLK. So if you look into the XLK itself, right, there are about 75 total companies in the XLK Holdings. The top 30 is represented over here. Take a look at the first two, the two biggest. Who are they? Apple and Microsoft. Each of these has a market capitalization of more than $1 billion. And together, they hold more than 42% of total contribution, almost half of the total of XLK. So when these two companies do well, XLK will do well, the total S&P will also do well. So these two companies impinge largely on the performance of the total market as well as the technology market.
So even Warren Buffett, who used to say that he doesn't believe and invest in Apple, has already also put in money into Apple. Of course, Warren Buffett has his own methodology with his team, and therefore buying into Apple is mean to buying into the technological space, and that is where if gurus do it, why are we not doing it?
How does this affect us? Of course, you can see from the charts, from the guru's perspective, it's still looking very bullish into 2021. The Fed has also reminded us that the challenges ahead, right? Because COVID is still there and job claims are increasing as well. We need to be prudent. And not to forget the S&P 500 as well as XLK, the PE ratio is all-time high. So you know that there is probably a bubble going up there. Still bullish at this point in time, but be prudent.
So what can we do today? Right, so basically we know that it's still bullish, right, in 2021, and then the P ratio is very high, so we have to be very careful. Even though it's bullish, right, we have to be very selective on, and it's better to choose those technological companies with lower PE so that they are not as pricey, and then go short term and be vigilant, right, because it's all-time high. If you enter and do for long term, there will be a certain amount of risk over there. So it's always good to keep up to market updates about the technological and as well as the whole market. And if you are worried that it may be a potential bubble, always reserve some cash. Don't put all your money into one basket.
So in summary, how is the technology sector doing? They're doing very well. What's happening? Some changes are there, but just be careful. Technology is in the S&P 500. It is one of the biggest contributor. Stock performances are doing all-time high, very good. Gurus are trading it, and you have seen how it affects us and what we can do as well.
I hope that you enjoy watching this series on technological. We have other series as well, like market insights, low capital investment, sector analysis, which is today. Last of all, which is mistakes and risk management over here.
Do remember that we have also other websites for a stream of information, you can scan the 2 QR codes over here. The top one is a corehub.me, which is our information as well as resource over there. You can also join us on our social media, our Modern Power Investment Options and Stocks, and it's a closed Facebook group, and we will have our communications with our community there.
So that's it for today, and thank you for watching Invest the Smart and Simple Way.
The CII way.
Or the CII way.